I don't know how to begin this video, but uh, I really want to say sorry to you guys. It's been almost 3 months since I have uploaded the video. Tomorrow it's going to be 3 months since this video. You might be able to see. You might be able to see a black or white pop on the upper part of your screen right now. It will lead you to this video of February 7, 2025, which you are seeing here. That video is named Types of Memory. And we're going to be continuing that remaining part here in that video. That video is very short, like 1 minute long. It was less than 2 minutes, I guess. In that, we just discussed the name and the subname, like the subtypes of types of memory. We just saw the names. In this video, we'll be discussing in depth about all those types of memory, which were declarative or explicit memory, implicit memory, and sensory memory. We are going to go in depth in that in this video. But I just want to say sorry to you guys. It's been almost 3 months I haven't uploaded a video. I just want to tell you guys that the channel ended and I'm back. So let's continue explicit memory, implicit memory, sensory memory. So let's see declarative or explicit memory. In the last video, we saw the names. You see, in the last video, we didn't see much. We just saw the names of declarative or explicit memory and just discussed a little bit base. So there's no point in watching the last video, but it is just like 1 minute long, I guess. It is less than 2 minutes long, so it's better you watch it and then come back here. So let's discuss declarative or explicit memory. It refers to that memory system which can be controlled consciously and for which we are aware of in some form. So this is important. It refers to so what does explicit memory or declarative memory, whatever you want to call it, between it has these two names, declarative memory or explicit memory. This memory system is controlled consciously. You have to remember this, because when you see the implicit wait, let me take out the implicit memory. Yeah, when you see the implicit memory, it works unconsciously, so it's a huge difference between these two. Let me on the yeah It refers to that memory system which can be controlled consciously and for which we are aware of in some form. It involves effort and intention, and it generally declines with age. Recalling the name of a friend. Now here are examples which these are the examples of declarative or explicit memory. Recalling the name of a friend, remembering a contact number or ATM pin involves declarative memory. So now these examples made the second point clear. What was the second point? It involves effort and intention, and it generally declines with the age. And the third point explains the second point by saying that recalling the name of friend, remembering a contact number or ATM pin involves declarative memory. Whereas you know that the old people, they cannot remember the certain things. You know, they cannot remember like a lot of things. They tend to forget a lot. Following are its three subsystems. So you can see that explicit memory declines with the age and it is controlled consciously. These are the key points to remember, and then few of the examples you can remember. Now there are three subsystems: working memory, semantic memory, and episodic memory. These are the three subsystems of explicit or declarative memory. Now let's see work memory. It can be considered as a benchmark of consciousness. This system of memory is responsible for processing and storing of information needed for immediate use, such as remembering a phone number, involves working memory or listening to a speech. This system of memory. So the second point here is important. I will wait. Let me just highlight. The important points I'll just highlight. This system of memory is responsible for processing and storing of information needed for immediate use, such as now here the example, remembering a phone number or listening to a speech. This comes under working memory. Semantic memory. The word semantic refers to meaning or logic. Now you have to remember this. So what does semantic mean? Meaning or logic. This subsystem of memory stores knowledge about the word, facts, concepts, logic, and meaning associated with the words or symbols. Now these are the examples which I'm going to highlight. It is important. This is I'm going to read it again, the second point, because it is important. The subsystem of memory stores knowledge about the word, facts, concepts, logic, and meaning associated with the words or symbols. Episodic memory. The memory associated with our experiences or life events is called as episodic memory. It is used, I will highlight the important part here, memory associated with our experiences or life events. Life events is called as episodic memory. This is important. It is used to recall past events, such as how did you celebrate your last birthday, what did you eat at today's breakfast. So these are the examples. Now let's get to implicit memory, the system of memory which was unconsciously. Now the explicit or declarative memory, it was working consciously, whereas this is working unconsciously. This is called non-declarative or implicit memory. It is unaffected by aging. So this complete, you can say this is kind of opposite of explicit memory. It involves consciousness. This doesn't. it is affected by aging. This is unaffected by aging. Now there are three forms of this as well: priming, conditioning, and motor or procedural memory. Priming. It is the process that works unconsciously and helps in speeding up the process of retrieving. This process suggests that memory can be activated unconsciously also. Conditioning. This form of memory is responsible for learning as association between two stimuli. So this form of memory of this form of implicit memory, because conditioning, this is the conditioning we are seeing here, this is a subsystem of implicit memory, non-declarative or implicit memory. So this form of implicit memory is responsible for learning association between two stimuli. Motor or procedural memory. The process of learning a motor skill is slow, but once it is well learned, it becomes automatic in nature. Now, this is interesting, and this topic is actually very easy. The process of learning a motor skill is slow, but once it is well learned, it becomes automatic in nature. That is, it does not need any further attention or conscious effort, such as the motor process involved in walking does not need any conscious effort. So, when you're a kid, a newborn baby cannot walk, but it takes a few years for that kid to be able to walk properly, like with a proper form, and to walk like a normal human being. And once it learns how to walk, it doesn't require any conscious effort or anything. You can just get up and walk. So it might be hard to learn. So this is one of the examples. There you can take a lot of examples. This is the example which is mentioned. So learning a motor skill is slow. It is slow, but once it is well learned, it becomes automatic in nature, and thus you does not require any conscious effort to perform that motor skill. Sensory memory. Sensory memory, which is also known as fleeting memory, sometimes is closely related to the process of perception. Now you have to remember this. It is closely related to what? Process of perception. Sensory memory, which is also known as, so you have to remember this name as well, fleeting memory. Sensory memory, which is also known as fleeting memory, sometimes is closely related to process of perception. Now here a very important word, that is sometimes, not always, sometimes it is closely related to the process of perception. It is responsible for keeping a record of our percept for a very brief period of time. It is important to note here that our sensory register works as a memory system. It is important to, I will read it again. It is important to note here that our sensory register works as a memory system. The information from the environment first reaches sensory memory. So this is talking about the process. The information from the environment, it first reaches the sensory memory. And if required attention is given to the information. So if it is requiring attention, it is given to the information. It moves to the other memory systems. It can store only for it can store information only for 200 to 5. This is also important. 200 to 500 milliseconds. It can store only for 200 information only for 200 to 500 milliseconds. Psychologists have argued that there is a visual sensory memory, an auditory sensory memory, and olfactory sensory memory. Now, visual sensory memory you already know, or auditory also know, related to hearing. But what is olfactory? Olfactory is smell related to smell. Olfactory also known as smell or sensory memory. However, a bulk of literature is available on iconic sensory memory, the memory for visual inputs, and echoic sensory memory. So, what is iconic sensory memory? The memory for visual inputs and echoic sensory memory. The memory for auditory inputs. Now, the name you have to remember here, George Sperling, 1960, was credited for conducting classic experiments on sensory memory. And that is it for this video. We have discussed all the things here. I'll give you some time to take the screenshot because these are points, you have to read them and remember them. So I'll give you some time to take the screenshot. And that is it for this video, and I really want to say sorry to you guys for not uploading any video for 3 months. But we are back, and also, as I always tell you, subscribe to the channel and on the bell icon so you do not miss any future uploads. And also like the video as well if you love the video. I'll see you in the next video with a new topic. Until then, if you want to leave a like, you can leave a like.